All right. Oh, they're going really fast. Hello, hello, hello. We are just getting set up. As per our usual. Um, hey, Dragon Dancer. How is it going today? I don't know why the slides are going so freaking fast. It's hilarious. Um, but it's really funny how fast it's going. So we're just waiting for Rook to come back over before we get started. Um, and then we'll roll. um, just trying to get things the way they need to be, I guess. I'm wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday, just for the record, if anybody wonders. Yeah, I know you got a lot to get ready for. And sorry we dipped out so long when Rook and I were driving home, riding home. We were kind of talking about how we wish we had more time to stay and hang out because we really do need to set something up. Um, but I just don't think we would have had much fun if we were worried about VG the whole time. And we need to find a. Well, actually, 8:30 pickup's pretty late. That's not a bad pickup time. It is not. So we're going to be doing today's show from our from our respective game rooms because we still haven't got our main area reset and redone. It's coming. We're almost done. But this isn't bad either. It gives us kind of a little bit of ways to do stuff a little bit differently. So it's all good. But we will give it a minute so we're not co-streaming this chair here. But yeah. The slideshow, like I said, I've been trying to set up a slideshow that uses a whole bunch of slides, but man, let's try that. See if that slows down that a little bit. That's better. That is from the 6 Mile Slough. If anybody's interested or curious, and that is an area down in Fort Myers, Florida. Very neat nature place. Some of the pictures we got were just freaking amazing. I need to take more pictures. Furry Rage, hi. How's it going? I have a massive headache this morning, so I'm being trying to be kind of slow and just consistent and even, and not move too fast because moving too fast hurts my head. But yeah. But we are just waiting on Rook. What's new? What is new in the world? It was nice seeing everybody there last night. This oppressive heat though has got to go. Like I consider myself an outside person. Like I like being outside. But that's been different lately. Plus, again, the traveling thing sucks. Is when the traveling when you're travel all week and then you're home for 2 days, it makes it kind of. I'm slow. I don't like to do a whole lot, but it is what it is. I should have tried Cabbage Hat yesterday. In lieu of Cabbage Hat, I did try ibuprofen this morning, so hopefully that will help a little bit. Man, my head is killing me. We're still going for our normal start time, 2 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So we got just a few more minutes, and we'll get rolling. I don't know that we're going to do a super long show today either. Um, we've got to do some fish tank maintenance. We have a bacterial infection, and we've been treating that with melaleuca oil. In the first world, that's known as Melafix. In the essential oil world, it is the Kajaput tree, a type of tea tree. Stuff smells amazing. Says it's extremely dangerous for human consumption and a known carcinogen, yet people take it for all kinds of maladies and find success in it. So, there again, you have something that quote unquote causes cancer. Yeah. Well, when I woke up today too, I was very dehydrated. My lips felt cracked, and sorry, I thought I heard my work phone ring, but I did not. Um, but hey, Ziggy, good morning. But I know I didn't drink as much water as I normally do, and I forgot my bottle, and that's Bradley singing because he didn't mute his mic as I had asked him to.
Rolling.
Where's mine? Tina Turner apparently is in the background.
Would you really think I'd forget you?
I know you wouldn't forget me. However, have you ever wanted to punch somebody so bad? Yep. No, I'm just kidding. I would never. We can hear you through your mic when you're doing stuff, since you didn't mute it. This is why I set it for 11 o'clock, but go live at 10:45, so that I can corral the wild animals in the house, being him. But anyway, I'm glad you guys joined. We are going to try to keep up what we've been doing this first and third Saturdays of each month. This will allow us to keep our topics fresh, give us time to do other things with the UU, which are usually the first and third. Well, the first Saturday is our day. The third Saturday is our... I keep messing that up. The second Saturday is our coffee... Sunday is our coffee service, so we can't do here. And the fourth Sunday is our meetings. Fourth Saturday is our meetings, so we like to take a break. So let me know when you're ready. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Am I getting through to you?
It's late there.
Actually, it's pretty early.
It is early.
Look what's bouncing at my side, y'all. I'm going to turn on the cameras. This is what's bouncing at my side.
Hey, I got a piece of bacon this morning. I don't know if anybody else got one, but I got one, some special. I got some bacon.
He is special.
And all he's worried about is this more dry food up here. Go ahead.
It's special.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hopefully you can hear us pretty well.
Good morning. Can you see us?
I hope not. Just kidding. I think
Dragon Dancers, Ziggy Nash.
It's going to be a good day as soon as my headache goes away.
Yes, headaches are bad.
I will also say there are some YouTube streaming issues, known issues today with chat. So the chat has been going in and out. So if we don't respond to you, the chat on my end keeps going blank, and then it comes back up and stuff. And then I looked it up earlier, and they said they're having an outage, so that might be an issue. And it also has been known to, in the past 24 hours, to just be kicking random people out. So if it looks like the stream has ended and you're kicked out, it probably has not. And yeah, don't judge me because I'm wearing the same t-shirt I wore yesterday. I have not changed that t-shirt yet because I love this one.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. I want to get more.
Skinny Dicks.
Halfway in.
One of my employees got this from Fairbanks, Alaska. Skinny Dicks. And then when you fold it up, supposedly it's supposed to say "fuck you." Maybe fold this up, but I don't know. I don't know if I can.
I can already see it.
I can't do it, but it's supposed to say "fuck you."
Smart.
Ah,
Yes, soon. Dragon Dancer will be up in Wisconsin, and we're gonna be
oh,
slowing our roll. But that's, I mean, we already have a reason to go to Wisconsin to visit with Ziggy. Now we'll have two reasons to visit and stay longer. Plus, our plan is still in place, just slower than we had intended. To also be a, what do we call it? Well, not really snowbirds because we're not elderly. We're like snow chickens. I don't know.
snow chicks.
So
So anybody know an administrator job up there for nursing home? Let me know.
yeah, really.
I've already got a nurse that's gonna move up there too. 10 acres, a barn, and a house on a lot for 90,000.
And that's high. Just saying.
Gee.
But yeah, that's exciting. I'm really, it's exciting because it's, and that, we could also talk about that as part of our discussion today because we didn't really have a good topic, a solid topic. We did want to talk a little bit about spirit and, of course, the normal stuff that we talk about. But one of the big reasons of moving and all of that is for many reasons. And then our reasoning for not moving as a permanence right now is also obviously pretty big too. So, what the cluck? I love it. So those are some of the topics we'll talk about today. I love that you guys have seen some of those areas, and there's so much up there. It's just really nice, and hopefully those deals and some of those things still stay. We don't need a lot of land and area. We just need enough. Unexplained, welcome in.
Hey, Melvin. So
So
when we moved here in 2016, 6 years ago, the cost of living was so much lower. It was even lower than Virginia
yeah,
at the time.
now it's double
Just,
Virginia.
It's nuts. It's like double, and
Yeah,
I don't know how sustainable it's going to be.
not much. But Ziggy, on Dragon's Point of the 600 people in that town, we're going to change the name from Poplar to Pagan, or the Poplar Pagan Poplars. I don't know, I'm making shit up. But yeah, like we're going to go take over. So we'll go ahead and get started, I guess, so we can get through some pieces, and then I want to get back to this discussion because this is a fun discussion for me. And we need to have more topics about things that are fun and that we enjoy because you know what, life is short. Books. I'm going to go back to books. I love talking about books. I am almost done. Well, I actually finished the third chapter in Man and His Symbols with Carl Jung. So the thing is, I'm learning a lot about his students and the people that worked with him about interpretation of symbols and dreams and things like that, and how important it is to do those independently. It is still a great book, to learn. It is highly recommended as a first book for Jung if you're interested in Jungian or Jungian, depending on how they say it, stuff. Psychology and all that. So it's very neat. I do want to get through it. This is my second time reading it. It has different meaning this time, so I want to get through it. But I've made some pretty good progress. Also still reading the Book of Cernunnos, edited by John Beckett, which is decent. A little fragmented, but it is multiple stories edited, so that would be expected. Very academic in its purposing more than in most cases, not all of them, so pretty cool there. And then the Empowerment Manual, that's an ongoing thing that's partly a workbook. And The Expanse, which I'm now about 80% through the fourth book. So been doing a lot of reading, been doing a lot of traveling. That's one of the main reasons. But I'm interested in really getting through Carl Jung because I want to start in his black books, but also I want to go back to reading more of the books that we have that are really occult and or pagan related, because there's so many new and interesting books out now, that I'm finding a lot of interest in going to some of the older ones and learning new things from the older books. What have you been reading, if anything?
The Cannabis Prescription. I got to get the author. I think that one's actually in the Jeep. I've got to go over and get it so I can show it. That is by a pharmacist, and then I'm reading another one, Cannabis Pharmacy. I want to learn about medical benefits and just physiological benefits of cannabis.
Yeah. It fits right in the cupboard and cabinet with many others.
It sure does.
Um,
And more about the endocannabinoid receptors in the body, like all of that stuff, and how it works and why it works.
yep. Fun times.
And it's just interesting seeing the political. It's a shame, but how it started, the way they classified it as a Schedule 1 drug, and which made it illegal, and the politicians are with the pharmaceutical companies, or with the FDA who regulates, and the DEA, all this stuff.
I think it's really frustrating, the navigation between the state and federal guidance and those things, because I don't think the government should have any right to legislate a plant, period. Don't care. Or a mushroom, or anything for that matter.
Nope.
Except for safety and protection in numbers. That was the whole purpose. So yeah, I got way too many books going on at one time to really be good at any one thing, which is kind of kind of nerve wracking. We are hitting new moon. If you're interested, we're at I think waning 2% ish. So we're right at the cusp. I think it's today or tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. New moon. So if you're interested in following moon cycles, then you can look no further. We have new moon tomorrow. New moon is a good time to do some of those workings that might be hidden, that need to be structured together and put together in silence before they're fulfilled and brought out to the open. So the new moon, interestingly, new moon is technically, I just looked up, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. And it is in Cancer, but then July we still have new moon energy moving into Leo, so water to fire. So this is a really good, interesting moment of creation energy and alignment. So you got something you're working on, get that rolling. Monday, Tuesday. This beginning of the week is all about just doing things behind the scenes and getting them prepared and ready. And just for the record, I think I mentioned it earlier, if I sound a little slow or off, I am pretty hyper on this headache right now. So it's pretty massive. But since we're only doing every other week, well, not even every other week, but twice a month, I did not want to skip today.
Yeah, trooper.
So, yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of, if you're looking really for a forecast, we're looking Monday, Tuesday, like I said, new moon, but moving Cancer to Leo. So we're taking our emotional new moon energy and putting it right into fire, and then we're fire until Thursday, and then we're in my favorite time. As the moon is waxing and building up, it's also going to be in Virgo, so that means Friday, Saturday are great days to really put the supports into whatever it is you're working on, right? Like the strong pieces that hold up whatever it is you're doing. If you're a painter, for example, this would where you do the outline. If you are a writer, this is where you set up your chapters. If you're a songwriter, this is where you might be working on your verse, your carry verses and stuff like that. So structural components later this week. Right now, it's more of just doing the behind the scenes stuff as much as possible. And then we will get through this new moon, which new moon is one of my favorite times because when you go outside, it is just dark. It's like pitch black, and I just enjoy that. So next.
Yeah, Melvin's got some stuff. working on for Tuesday.
Nice. Part 2. Just saying.
Part 2, maybe?
Oh, that'll be awesome. So that must mean they're moving to the beginning, very end of the month. So that's we'll have to keep eyes really peeled for that. Supermoon's also super interesting. Definitely a different energy, but I'm excited about that. You know, being on the topic of that, just for the record, I think everybody is kind of on the same page, at least of how I think in this manifest world of the cycles. That's one of the important things that the moon does, is it helps keep us regulated. If you pay attention to the cycles of the earth, the sun, and the moon, it helps regulate and stabilize yourself and keeps you grounded and connected. And I also, well, I'm not even going to get into that yet, but I feel like it's really important to kind of understand that piece of it for me. It's those cycles and those seeing that new moon and then the moon waxing and then the full moon and then waning and going through those that keep me organized and keeps me like kind of on a nature connected path. When I stop following it, paying attention to it, I notice that I'm not as connected. And the same thing throughout the day in the sun. We have our high times that we do well and times that we're not as on point throughout the day. And for me, that afternoon period of like 12 to 4 is the worst time of the day for me.
Yeah.
You know, the fire part of the day, I'm just kind of like, bleh. If you get into the earth part of the day, that's night. Overnight is earth. Morning and dawn times, that's your east, your rising, that's your air. Fire midday to early afternoon, that's where I'm the most delayed or not myself or feeling bleh. And then
Hey,
getting into
Joy.
water, which is the evening and the bonsoir, having your meetings with your people. You're back home, you're back in emotion, you're back in family. Hey Joy, good morning.
Good morning.
But those are the kind of the deals on that. If you're looking at cycles and processes, when we were doing the tarot class these last 2 weeks, that came up a lot, was the processes and the cycles of it all, right? How the fool's journey is a cycle. How these things all line up in ways and synchronicities that have representations as above, so below, as within, so without. So very neat. But that brings me to the big topic today, which is many sides of spirit. And so I use those words specifically because on Friday we talked about ghost spirits and demons. So I wanted to kind of go dig deeper into one of those forms, which is spirit. So we're talking all different forms of spirit we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about. So please share in your information and the things that you have that you want to share. So spirit can mean many things. It can mean deity. It can mean essence. It can mean the spirit of something on the physical plane, spiritual plane, spiritual growth. It can mean ghosts, paranormal, all these different things. And if you believe like I do, which is, again, everything connected, one source, we're all the same and kind of this big connective force. When we talk about spirit, it's kind of the same thing. We feel and hear that the spirit on the other side is part of us. Morning, Kelvin. This makes me, I just put this together. Kelvin shares the name of our NPC friend in Sons of the Forest.
Yes, he does.
I love it. So that's what we mean when we talk about spirit. We had the discussion about ghosts and demons too, but I can say in my head and my brain, to me, demon and spirit are not interchangeable, but they are of the same essence in some ways. But yeah, so what type of spirit or what form or side of spirit do we want to talk about with first? And then I'm going to look. Yes, we should, Ziggy. Favorite deck representing the Justice card?
Ooh. What is your favorite?
That is a hard one. There is a really good representation of Justice in the Abyss. Oh, my cord's not long enough. And in the Runic Tarot has a pretty good one. But let me show you the one in here while we're...
Justice.
Oh my god, look, I opened the box.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Joy, I literally just opened this box. Well, I mean, not just opened the box, but I literally just now... I haven't had this off my desk or off the thing in probably 3 or 4 months. I pull the whole deck. I just opened the deck with the card, the book and everything. And look what's there, the Justice card. That is freaking insane.
Pretty cool.
This is one of my favorite Justice cards. Yeah, it was a big topic in the this Saturday in the Tarot course. Justice was a big
Hey.
discussion.
That looks like Madonna's Ray of Light single cover.
Yeah. And at first glance, you don't see Justice, and this is why I like this card. And it's going to be very hard to see. But this image is supposed to be a non-symmetrical image. You've got some appearance of power and control, but if you look in her eye, her iris is actually the scales of justice. So it's talking about not only the internal scales of justice, but the external scales of justice, and the discussion of this whole is justice in the eye of the person, or is justice an external thing? Looks like our topic just kind of moved over to justice for a minute, because it was Saturday. It was a big thing. We even talked about equality versus justice, and why I think equality is the wrong kind of mindset. And we talked about the meme of equality versus justice, and fairness, really, because justice is more of a fair equality. But you talked, the meme was, and I think you can Google it, that you have the 3 boys. There's a short boy, a medium height boy, and then a tall boy, and they're watching over a blocked fence, like a solid fence. They're trying to see the game. Mine was a race car show, a race. But some people have seen it for like a baseball game. I think that was what Mary had said she had seen it in, and within that, there are 3 crates to stand on. So equality gives each kid a crate. You get 1 crate. The short kid still couldn't see over. The middle kid could almost barely see over on his tiptoes with 1 crate to stand on. And the tall kid stood on the crate and was still able to see, just like he could see without it. But justice would be redistributing those crates to where the short kid got 2, the middle kid got 1, and the tall kid didn't get any. Even though that's not equal, it's justice, because the goal is to be able to see the game, and that is what we need more of. We have a lot of push for equality, and we need that, but what we really need is justice, not equality. We don't need everybody treated equal. We need everybody treated just and fair. And the whole thing that pisses me off when people say, well, life isn't fair. Well, duh, we know it's not fair, but we don't need to make it less fair just because we can. But anyway, that was a really good thing, Joy. I'm glad you brought that up. Like I said, in our tarot course, this was a good chunk of our discussion. Anybody in the chat have a favorite justice card or a question about tarot related to justice before we jump back into spirit?
I can't find the justice card in this deck.
It might be named something else. But one of the things that I liked about this card and why it came to my mind first is just how when you look at it, most people say, oh, it's just a female's face. Like, you have to really look in for justice. You have to really see justice. It's not always on the surface, and that's why it's one of my favorite versions of justice, because it's almost like it's reminding you that you have the control and power to actually help maintain justice for other people. So, yeah. Oh, I cannot believe this was literally the card on top.
That is too cool.
That creeps me out in a good way.
That is cool.
But anybody else comments on the justice card? Oh, yes, and I have that, but I don't have it close by. Of course, I like the steampunk justice too, but that's somewhere else. It's in my book bag because I carry that one with me.
Let's see this one.
Did you find it?
I found it in another deck, but I didn't like it. I'm gonna look in this one light. Tarot.
I think one thing about justice in general is, yes, Kelvin. My favorite cards in the deck generally are Magician, Magician, High Priestess, and Temperance, because of what they mean. But it can be any favorite cards. There's tons of them. Now, this, of course, specifically, we're just asking about the Justice card because that's been such a big topic, like Joy mentioned. I'm gonna see if I have Justice in my other deck that I really like, but it didn't come to mind. So, there's an interesting discussion too about the difference between justice. I actually was getting ready to say that unexplained, didn't even see that, but that's okay. I was just getting ready to talk about the difference between justice and judgment. That justice is the element of justice, whereas judgment is the action of justice. I want to pull that judgment card out actually because the judgment just popped up in this one. But I wonder what the whatchamacallit is in the Justice card is in the Lost Hollow. That is a cute deck. I do enjoy that one. Here it is. All right, so this is okay. So I can't show this card on stream. It has somebody apparently self-pleasuring.
Oh.
And I did not expect that. It's very tastefully done. I mean, it's the Divine Masculine, so it's not a seedy one like some of my other decks. So that's something we could look into to figure out. What is the meaning of justice in that case? That's definitely different.
I think I'll have to spend some time with a Justice card this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming up, so.
Yeah, definitely with everything going on.
I mean, this is a pretty card. I'm going to show it, but I'm going to cover the part that could get us in trouble. This is in the Divine Masculine. And I think there's a representation here of one of the things that I find very, very interesting in when we talk about spiritual attainment and what the goal is of spiritual attainment and how getting towards being engaged kind of pulls things back into what is necessary and current, and what is, I don't want to say androgynous, but androgynous. Okay, I've dropped like 5 cards now. What is going on?
Oh, the Fae are playing. Where's Patrick?
I don't know. You better go find him.
Where's Patrick?
I'm sorry,
Patrick
Ma.
O'Hara.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to really think about this Justice card here. But anyway, what I was getting at is when you talk about trying to, I can't remember what freaking book this was in that I was just reading. Oh my God, it's gonna drive me nuts. I have to look it up now. But it talks about, when you are trying to attain or get to that place of elevation or nirvana, there is no gender, there is no sex, there is no differentiation. It's the reconciliation of those two things that is what people are searching for, and we just don't necessarily know it. Once you're reconciled to both genders, they don't matter anymore. And that was kind of the idea. Stupid. No, don't go. But anyway, I digress. Love the Justice card, yes. Love the Devil card too, Kelvin. And we talked about, again, this is, I keep saying this because we had I did a tarot class yesterday, and these things come up a lot in tarot, especially Major Arcana, is how the Devil card is very often representative of the chains that you have created to bind yourself, which is a pretty important point when you're going through the Fool's Journey. So, yeah, we need to check on Patrick for real.
I think
Considering,
he's bored.
I was going to say, considering our dog tried to eat a stone, an 8-inch stone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, ooh, you touched on my favorite topic, tarot. The tarot. What was I going to say next? Oh, spirit. So we're talking about spirit. Rook, what type of spirit do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk about the kind that what I perceive to be from people that were here. Like my favorite, of course, is the Samhain time when we do the Silent Supper. And
So kind of like spirit of ancestor and ghosts and
spirit of ancestor and ghost. Yeah, I mean, to me that's the most meaningful, because when it came through the 2 times we've done it, it was specific things that like I hadn't even thought of, like memories that were brought through that I had forgotten about like 20 years ago. You know, it was pretty powerful. And then at the other end of that, which I guess it could have been like something else, but when we went to the Old House Woods in Virginia,
that was so much fun.
It was so cool. It was 3 or 4 years ago. We went to go on a ghost walk out in Virginia. It rained, so they canceled it. We all went back to Brian's sister's house, and about 45 minutes later, the girl called the sister and said, "Hey, I'm still going. Meet us down here."
Yeah, and it's
so we did.
I just wanted to add to that. What was interesting about it is that's stuff that we normally won't do. You call back 45 minutes later, we're like, nah, we're in. We're tired. We're not going back out, but we did. Tell them about your experience. I talked a little bit about.
Shit. What did I do?
Not shocked. Tell them a little bit about your experience, since I kind of shared a little bit of mine Friday.
So it was really cool. Like we were walking down this road, and you know, once in a while, we were with a medium, and you know, we would see like little lights, like red lights, and you get to it, and of course they were gone. But there was at one point where just in the mind it was saying stop, stop, stop. Well, we kept going, and as soon as we rounded the corner, I became so freaking nauseous, like I couldn't even walk. And it said again, stop. Like go, turn around, stop. So for whatever reason, whatever it was, didn't want us to go there. So we turned around and walked back, and I felt better immediately. And turned around and tried to go back that same way, and it was like stop, stop, and then just became so nauseated. I've never had like a feeling like that. It was really weird.
So that was with a lady named Jerry.
Jerry Pritchard Reyes.
Yes, I'm going to post her YouTube channel real quick if anyone wants to check it out.
And every Tuesday she does Vibe Time with Jerry with paranormal experts.
She does, and she's got a lot of really cool videos. I will say there's a couple where the video is messed up the whole time, and sometimes the sound is only working halfway, and you know, that kind of stuff. But regardless, it's very interesting. And once you get into it and see some of the tools, what's really cool is like it's neat that I'm like, we were actually there with her and did stuff, and it was fun. So you should check her out. She's got, you know, lots of different videos and stuff. They've done different things. The one where we went with her was she's got some videos of it too. Not the one we were actually at, or rephrase, not the one where we were present at the time, but of the actual location of where we did. And I can't. You said Old Wood Road, but I can't remember if it was Old Woods or Old Schoolhouse Road or Schoolwood Road or something like that.
What
There's a word for it. It's known in circles of paranormal.
And it's near where Blackbeard did what?
Blackbeard. It's where Blackbeard's treasures are supposed to be hidden, and I think where he shipwrecked or something. I don't know the story all the way. But yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I do believe that when we were there, that we were in the presence of an energy, which could be a spirit. It could have been a devil, could have been a demon, could have been anything for all we know. But it certainly was a negative engagement that was preventing us from going any further in a certain direction. And we independently all kind of felt and, went with um, yeah,
Like it was calling Jerry the C word.
it was.
Funny. It was calling her the cunt, and
Yes, it did.
it didn't call me any names, but it definitely made me sick. I don't think it liked men.
Yeah, and if you're interested in Blackbeard, he's an English pirate, also known as Edward Teach. But there's a lot of discussion and information about Blackbeard.
Oh, beheaded.
Yes, he was beheaded. But I'm trying to see. His actual beheading was in Ocracoke, North Carolina. But his treasure, was very much said to be in that part of. I don't know how you pronounce in that part of Virginia, but the Eastern Shore of Virginia.
We're going next month. We gotta try to say hi to her, or
Yeah,
at least go down
we
that
should.
road.
So,
That'd be cool.
what is a pirate's favorite letter?
Who's saying that? I don't know. What is a pirate's favorite letter?
Don't look it up.
Oh, I'm not. I'm
They-
just seeing if somebody was this.
M. A pirate's favorite letter. Many would think it is R, but it is the C they love.
Oh, okay. I was thinking R.
You know where I heard that from?
No.
The Pirates of the Caribbean thing at Disney, at Disney World. That's where that came from.
The C.
Okay, that was enough of that. But yeah, so I think that was an entity. I think that was some type of spirit energy or something, maybe unrelated, unknown. But I do believe in spiritual ancestors. I don't think they're just residual energy that just happens to be around. I think there is sentience to the energy on a level that we just don't know and understand. It's weird to kind of explain. It's like, I think it's outside of my understanding, and that's how I can best describe it to myself. My father passed. Do I think my father as an ancestor will show at certain times? Yeah. Do I think there's some sentience to that energy? I do. I don't think it's just a residual echo. That's just not how I believe in the connection of the worlds. I don't think it's that simple. I think it's in a way that we might not be able to understand very well, or maybe some people do very well. So, yeah, I do believe in spirits that way. So, good choice to start with.
Yeah.
Thank you, Calvin. Yeah, it's been a couple months. But I think that's something that's there. Then we have spirit as in the older ancestors. So we're talking like lines and lines and lines ago, right? Ancestors that we never know, that we would not exist if they didn't exist. And there are common ancestors between us at some point that potentially, we never would have been able to see and know, but can still feel the energy. And if they are shared, we may not be able to ever know that. We can feel it and you can experience it. So that's an ancestral. What do you got? You keep looking at something.
Oh, Joy was saying that ancestors were her husband's passing. He told her. People in the room. That's really cool.
I'm absolutely positive. We said the same thing with my grandmother when my dad was passing. We all felt that she was there. His mom. So, yeah. I mean that's a big piece. What other types of spirit? Do we talk about spirit as in deity? Like I think of deity as type of spirit and energy, a
Mm.
different kind, maybe more formalized. I use the example all the time of I don't think Cara Dwynn is in the sky, doing her um, cauldron.
Of course not. She's in the form of Baba Yaga,
Yeah,
lying in her vessel.
she is in many forms at many times because she's not linear. She is paradigm. She is multiverse. Um, but does that mean I don't believe in that as an entity or individual? I do. That does not mean that. I do believe in that entity and individual. It gets misinterpreted quite often when I say I don't see the actual person in the sky because I don't think they necessarily look like people. I think we gave them human attributes so that we can understand them and equate to them and um, what's the word I'm looking for? Relate to them. So that's another side of spirit for me. There's also liquor. Liquor's a spirit.
The liquor is a spirit, you know.
um, yeah, I think everything. I don't think there's a way to interpret it the right way sometimes, but a lot of times I'll tell people, I really don't see Cara Dwynn in the sky with her cauldron, and people immediately say, "Oh, well, you don't think Cara Dwynn's an entity?" I'm like, "No, no, I believe in Cara Dwynn as an energy. I believe in the mythos that has created it, um, but I certainly don't think she's up there just chilling out for us." Yeah, I'm this. I feel the same joy. I think it's supposed to be outside of our understanding, because that's part of our next level. When we get ready for it, we will go there, and we will be one with all of the entities and things that we believe in. And if I believe a complete opposite of what Rook believes, when the time comes, we will recognize, I think, that everything that we believed was the same thing in just a different way or pattern of our life, because we are that which we seek. So that's an
Yeah.
important thought process for me in spirit.
So speaking of spirit, like can spirit be like an energy, and can things be coming through people? I'll tell them asking later. Not like possession, but can
Like
people
Teresa
pick up on
Caputo.
yeah. Yeah. Can people pick up on energy of spirit?
I think absolutely the same way somebody is really good at being a sprinter and somebody else is really good at being a long distance runner. They may have adapted to those things. I think people have adapted to do those other things better than us. And they have that ability to connect better than others. And so, yeah, I do believe that. I think they can speak individually through us in ways that we don't really think about, too. Have you ever been going through something or doing something like, huh, that's a really good idea. I'm glad I thought of that. To me, sometimes that's spirit coming through you to give you
Oh
a
yeah.
new seed that you didn't have before. Happens
Yep.
a lot for me with music. When I'm listening to music, I'll feel just a little nudge like this is really like just giving me a connection or a feeling I didn't have before. I'm like, that's spirit working through me.
Guiding you, giving you answers. Yep.
Hmm. So, what about you? You feel like spirit spoke through you anytime?
Yeah, definitely like to guide like through things. I think to help find answers. I think spirit helps me to find things. I'm a good finder, right? Like this one loses things, and like I'll just say, okay, where are you at? It's like I'll find it within a couple minutes.
Yeah, true.
I think that spirit guide me to where you put your stuff, where I put my stuff, and forget about it.
Yeah, enjoy. I agree. I have some of your creations here, and they are definitely alive. Interesting notice I thought was the last time you were here, you picked up on. We have, I don't even know what you call it, a wall hanging, which is something that Joy gave me for my birthday a few years ago. It's gorgeous, and it's of the Green Man. And it's got the Green Lady in it too, but it's a little bit more obscure. Well, the last 3 to 4 months, when you go by it, you don't see the Green Man at all. It is just the Green Woman. Now
Mhm.
the Green Man's coming back out, but it
Yeah.
switches and changes over time. It is so interesting that they act different, and you get different feelings when they're there. Like it's a different protective force, um, and a different guidance. So, I mean, that's huge. I think that's a real big piece of it. I think I think what I have been learning, the more I read and the more I keep my brain open and alive and try to be connected and being less judgmental, that I'm
Hmm.
learning that spirit and um, deity and all of it, ancestors, all of it is universal and aspectual, meaning it has many different aspects that present it different ways in different times. But more than anything, it just doesn't matter. Not in the sad, oh my God, it doesn't matter way, but in the way of it doesn't matter in such a beautiful way that however you connect, it just matters that you do, regardless of the method or the way. And I think, I'm finding things, and it's funny because you can academically learn 1,000 things and they mean nothing, but you can learn one thing spiritually and it connects all of those other pieces. It's just amazing. What?
Dragon, can you find me a reasonably priced SUV? I can get on that.
You
Let's
probably
see.
can.
I can ask and I can get on it. Used or new? So I do have a topic. Like, one thing I just wanted to ask, like, real quick. I think I've become more sensitive to it or more affected by it over the last month or so, but in the past couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, what do you do when, like, the energy that someone is putting off is too much, and so much so that it's just like literally you're just like you feel like you're in a corner and you got to get the fuck out of there.
I have an
Like,
answer for that.
other than just getting up and rudely walking away or saying you talk too much. Like, cuz that's normally what I'll do, as I'll
And
do it and I'll be kind and indulge it for
then you get
ever
mad and
and
overreact.
ever, and then I get mad and I'll just get up, or I'll just say, "Oh my god." Or another topic or another technique I employ, which sometimes backfires, is I'll make sure that I overtalk the person the next time we're together, so that hopefully they'll think, God, I don't want to be around him. He talks too much. But some, like, that energy sometimes can just be too much from others. And I'm just wondering what what are some healthier ways, or what are some ways that you all deal with that other than just saying shut the fuck up? Like, one of my previous persons that I did love dearly, but at the time, she would have said, "Shut the fuck up."
So there's two different buckets I'm interested in hearing what people think about, and that is
Yeah,
the pagan, spiritual, magical bucket, and then the mundane bucket. Like
yeah,
magically, I've learned how to bubble,
yeah.
but I don't practice it very much for some reason. Um, I just forget about it, and it is very effective. And people will read it on you and inadvertently back off sometimes if it's done well. I took an actual class on protection and protection bubbles and kind of creating that magical circle around you and picturing it and re-upping the energy in it and all that stuff. And it is relatively effective. I forget to do it. Like when you go out into a public space where you have stress, you can use it and it will help keep you de-stressed. You can actually change the aura and the air around you um, magically by kind of keeping track of those things and kind of putting energy into it. Mundanely, it sounds like we're talking about what's the word?
Boundaries.
Boundaries. Yes.
Look, like, I enjoy speaking with you, but you talk too much. Sometimes you're just too much. Is it okay to say that? I mean, I
Yes.
can take you in pieces.
Kelvin, just from a standpoint of the process itself, technically everything we're talking about is left hand path. From the perspective of right hand versus left hand path. But if there's something specific you do, as maybe in the Satanist world, left hand path or whatever more specific for you, what do you do? I would think, and this is just because I'm not specifically, I consider our path to be part of the left hand path, but I don't consider it when people say left hand path that it is that, because that's something very specific to people, even though it is really initially a generalized term and phrase. Kind of created to separate the one god versus the many gods, the right path versus the sinister path, which anything that's not God is sinister. So there you go, left-handed. But I would think that a left-hand path response could be more about, or more likely, the absolute direct forward method of, hey, too much going on in my head right now. I'm going to step away for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That would be what I would think a left-hand path person might say. Of course, there's a billion different people. It's 8 billion. So there's going to be many different ways. But that sounds like what I think Uncle Setnak's guide would probably say. It's been very nice talking to you, but right now there's too much information coming at me and I'm stepping away.
Yeah.
Just, we can pick this up later. But I'm overwhelmed. And just state it flat out. Because if I say and that's a mundane way to do it too, psychologically. If I say I am overwhelmed, I need to step away for a minute. You're taking the pressure on yourself, not saying you talk too much, you're too loud, you do too much. And you're saying I am feeling too much, I hear too much, and I'm stepping away. Like that's kind of important.
Oh, I like that. I will kindly say I've listened now. We'll address things. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of that's the operation.
And I want to hear more about Furry Rage, Squeaky Squirrel. Set it and forget it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the method, because I do that sometimes where I'm just like start staring through you and like not registering, but then that's rude too in my brain.
I hope your healing process is going well, Kelvin.
Yes.
From that.
Not fun.
Yeah, definitely. That's not.
I am not sure exactly what was done, but I have been in a similar recovery period post a similar sounding stuff. Not happy, fun times. Granted, it's been 15 years now, so I was in the hospital for 6 days for that. But anyway, set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. I want to hear more about that.
For sure.
Set it and
A shizzle you nizzle. I'm losing my mind. I've gone nuts.
Is setting boundaries, meaning when you see the person, look, you're not going to talk me to death today. Is that setting boundaries?
Got it. That makes sense. You set it power from the outside yourself and forget about it. Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. I think somebody had mentioned that before and I just didn't listen. Kind of using the idea that when somebody else's energy gets too big, it automatically feeds the bubble to get stronger by itself and it bounces people back off energetically. Can be very helpful. And what you would see different is that person continues to talk, but they might leave you and go to another group or walk away and then come back later. Because it's not that you don't want to hear people talk or be involved in what's going on. It's that sometimes things are coming at you so fast you don't have time to process and think of how you want to respond. And then by then they've already moved on to something else. And it's just like, well, shit, I'm still talking about this other thing. I do that from talking too fast. I will skip to a new subject before we finish the last one. Because I just want to move.
Well, and I'm guilty of it with ADHD. I jump, and even you'll say, "Wait a minute, what are we talking about?"
Mm-hmm.
I'll jump from one thing to the next and back and forth, and then, but when somebody else comes at me, I can't handle it.
Yeah. Well, I think too, there's a level of hope with brains switching gears. Furry, I think that's your specialty though, right? That's something that we would love to, I think we've talked about having class or something although now it would have to be remote. But I would love to learn some more of your ways of how you set that up, because that is not my expertise at all, and I need better shielding and better protection. Um, but yeah. So I have mixed feelings about talking sticks. I think they're very effective when they are needed specifically when there's an actual condition, but in general, when we've used talking stick methods in other areas, it stifles conversation. Um, but if it's used timely in a time space, it's actually very effective, meaning 30 minutes of brainstorm, free speak, lots of interruption, talking over people, getting it all out, and then moving to a talking stick, or maybe doing 10 minutes of that and then 20 minutes of talking stick method can be important. What happens when we get into linear topics if it's not managed properly is somebody will have a topic, and then when they have the quote unquote talking stick, they move on and they move the conversation into a different direction than what other people have to share. And then the next person, because we go in order of people who are requesting the talking stick, right? They don't get that opportunity, or maybe they're not as loud to get that thing, and they get left out. So they're 3 times back, and now when it comes turn for them to talk, their moment and their meaning doesn't have the effect that it would have had. So talking sticks, I think, are great, but they need to be managed just as much as free talk does. I think having only talking stick would be terrible, and only free talk is terrible. But usually speaking, a room full of people, like yesterday, we had a room full of people. The conversation rotated pretty organically, right? You'd have a group going one way, and of course, kids always make it highly energetic. But you have things moving in different spheres and spaces, and that kind of works usually, right? You have 3 or 4 people that might be outside talking for a minute, getting fresh air. And then they go in and 2 others go out, and then people move around the food table like we did yesterday. So things kind of move around that way. And I think that organic is great in group talking, in group discussions, even when it's formalized. And then I think talking stick is absolutely necessary if we're really drilling down into a topic. Like if we have a room full of people and we're all fighting to get to something we want to talk about, and it's kind of all in the same line, you might want to say, hey, look, everybody has something to say about this topic. Let's pause and everybody take notes. That's my problem. My problem has always been, once I say it, it's gone. Once I think it, it's gone if I don't say it. So I have part of my job is writing things that go to the state capitol, I don't know how do you explain it. Writing things and saying things in a very specific manner is an important part of my job. And so I'll be on a call with 10 people, and they will always go, Brian, you're good with words. Tell me what it should say. And I'll say, and like, oh my God, that's perfect. Can you say it again so I can write it down? Nope. It's gone. Once it's said and out. And Brad does not believe me, but it is absolutely true that once I get it out, it's out. I can say it again, but it's not going to be the same word. It's going to be a little different. I have a very hard time once my brain processes information and puts it out when it needs to, not when I want it to sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it's just like when somebody gets inspiration for creative, it's like, oh my God, I have this creative inspiration. I really want to go do this right now. And then they go do it. And it's a beautiful creation. But if they're in a place where they can't get to it and they pause it, it maybe isn't going to come out the same way. And I have often been accused of being interrupting to other people, which I have worked really hard on not doing. I'm not good at it on here. There's big delays. 20-second delays sometimes with the chat. Brad does something that he hates that his mom also does, but then he does it too. Where he will pause in the middle of saying something and look at the phone. And on here, you'll see him. He'll back up and look at the microphone. And then if you go to talk, you're interrupting him. But he paused for like 10 seconds. And his mom does that. And he's like, I hope she's watching. You do it too. And there's nothing wrong with it either. It's just funny that you get mad that your mom doesn't. But I think that that's a pause, and then I'll talk. So the purpose isn't really to you know interrupt,
Okay.
because that's a big thing for me. And it does come back around to spirit, right? It's that whole idea that there's other things working through us sometimes, and they come out, and just being open to it and allowing it to happen without being a jerk. I think that's what you work on. Am I wrong?
Perhaps.
All right.
Perhaps. All right.
Anybody else have any other thoughts on spirit, or do you have any other thoughts on spirit?
I do not.
There's
Anything else to cover today? Are we?
I don't think so. There's obviously many other different versions and parts to spirit, but those are the big ones that come to mind first. The spirit like ghost, the spirit like entity, spirit like deity, spirit like energy, spirit like liquor.
Liquor.
Yeah, it's so funny too. Like, yeah, I'll say something that's completely out of character for what I would normally say, and I'm like, okay, well, that needed to be said at the moment it was said. But yeah, I want to do like I really think one thing we can do on this show, and kind of to have an ongoing discussion if everybody's okay with it, is I'm gonna grab a tarot deck and set it aside and put it in order, or maybe not. Maybe we'll just completely randomly pull until there are no cards left. Pull a card and then it doesn't go back in, and then talk about what that card could mean for different people. Rook and I have talked about, but anyway, if you guys think that would be fun, we are going to do reading. Yes, we're going to pull cards in a minute. But really.
I'm just kidding.
You can exit. I can take you off right now. Hold on. Let me delete your stuff. We remove Rook Tempest from the Discord. Y'all saw that, right? As I was saying, now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, if you guys would like to, we would do something like that if that would be fun. Where we, like I said, we'll take a deck, set it aside, no repeats. We'll just take a card and we'll talk about what it means as part of the general discussion, and have a 10 to 15 minute thought process on it, like we did with Justice. That was fun for me. I really enjoyed that.
That was cool.
All right. Ooh, that could be another show. So yes, we will open for tarot. Kelvin, I see you want a reading. It appears. A general. Who else would like tarot cards? While we are opening the queue, let us know if you want a general reading or something detailed, but please let us know. Other things that are going on, we saw that too. Rook has mentioned, and I want to put it out there, that he wants to do more of our videos. I know I have not been doing the Satero Day because I've just been so tired. I've been getting in on Fridays instead of Thursdays, so I don't have that recuperation day that I'm used to getting. And I just haven't been doing it. So I may or may not start Satero Day together again. Not sure. But what we will do is sorry, I'm writing names down too. What we will do is start putting out more videos, asynchronous videos, meaning, finishing our tarot shadow work. You rolled your eyes again.
No, I didn't. I stomped my finger.
No, you rolled your eyes. And putting out more videos. We have a lot more content to put out that we have laid out. We never did video wise. We just haven't done it time wise. So that'll be something we'll do. So yeah, those are things we're kind of working through. So I have for tarot, and if there's any topics you guys want to see, let us know. We're going to continue this, like I said, We're doing the first and third Sundays, 11 to 12 thing, and then 12 to 12:30 tarot. That again allows us to have the second and fourth Saturdays and or Sundays to do other things around the community and with our UU, and maybe even more actual community stuff that we can get involved in. But also lets us do some of our videos and get those out. So we have videos. If you haven't seen them in our video section, they are separated into playlists. We've done some on some rituals and some other things that we've done in the past, but we will have definitely more videos coming. Right now, I have Kelvin, Dragon, Joy, Ziggy, and Furry. Did I miss anybody?
Pick a card.
All right,
Who's
what deck are
first?
you
Pick a
doing,
card.
Rook?
The
Light Seer,
Seer.
Chrysan.
Don't go into the light, Chris Ann.
Don't.
Oh.
Who's first?
I'm-
First?
I'm going to go ahead and use the Tarot of the Abyss, since that's what I pulled for the Justice card. So let's use that.
Miss Tina, I think I'm gonna put you down, baby's girl. Okay? It's okay. Okay, Miss Tina.
Good. Thank you. Unexplained, unless you, if you want a reading. I did not see you on the list.
There you go, Miss Tina.
All right, so we are going to. I gotta cleanse this deck for having that Justice card right up there.
Who are you?
Who are
We light up the nations. Oh,
same?
amazing.
We are still waiting now to get the table that we are wanting to pick up from a friend to redo our main area where we will continue doing the show from. So that'll be fun. Oh yeah. I think we might be heading out to that kava bar after this on the bikes. All right. I need to get my tattoo done on my elbow and see what I'm going to figure out with this space right there. Screaming at the Abyss is very fun. That always reminds me when people say stuff like that. Like when I was in food service, I was a waiter. I was also a prep cook. Whenever we would get totally frustrated and pissed off, you go into the deep freezer and scream. Nobody can hear you. That was our favorite place to meet because you'd get so hot from running around so much. We'd run in the back and cool off and scream into the abyss about how terrible customers can be sometimes, even though we know we're customers too.
Who are we doing first? I'm sorry, I took my ears out.
Kelvin is first on the list.
Kelvin. All right.
Yeah. We're going to see about after here. I was waiting for my headache to go away, and then we might hop on the bikes and head down and just stop in since we've never been. All right, Kelvin, what are we going to get, my friend?
For the week.
For you. Cards are Chihuahua blessed. Thanks to my petite.
Thank you, my petite.
All right, so we have. I do love the imagery on these. The Eight of Cups. Eight of Kupus.
Interesting that you
All
draw
right.
that.
So the Eight of Cups generally is going to represent a turning point in something that's happening for you. There is some part of a journey or some part of a process that has been happening, Kelvin, that's been kind of going on, and there's a turning point in it. Now, that could be good or bad. it's usually good because we're going towards the end of something. You're working towards the 10 of Cups, which is contentment and happiness and fulfillment with your family. So at the 8, which is just after the 7, which can be a little funky, we're in the 8 now. We have this turning point towards things that are going to be going in the way that you really want them to go. So I think the message for you from the abyss is really just keep going as you're going, because that turning point is also coming. And that is important. So that's the 8 of Cups for Kelvin.
Well, funny that you say that, because I had a jumper, the 10 of Cups.
Yay!
So the
Synchronicities today.
fulfillment is coming soon. So from an emotional standpoint, so it's all good. Like, your support system is all good, and relish and embrace that this week. Is it blurring? Sorry, I'm trying to cover my face, but
Yeah, as long as you cover your face, it'll capture it pretty well. Yeah, it's clear.
10 of Cups, so that's why I was giggling, because it was
That
a
is
jumper.
too funny. We are in different rooms, just for the record,
We're in
Kelvin.
different rooms,
So-
using different decks. Hello.
So really cool that when you get something, a reading like this, it's kind of like a confirmation or validation. So again, 8 of Cups in this case, I'm going to go back to it because this is definitely, to me, a positive turning point, and something that's causing you some emotions. This could mean stuff like, and I'm only giving examples. This isn't what it means for you, but examples like, it's been really hard at work and work is getting better, or you've been looking for a job and you'll get a job, or you've had a hard time with custody and you're going to get custody. Now, we need more cards to really dive into that detail, which is outside of our purview here, but this is definitely, to me, some positive turning point for you that's going to lead to that contentment. So I think that is very nice. That makes me excited. I hope that gives you some guidance, something to look forward to. I believe Dancer of Dragons is next.
Dancer of Dragons? Ooh.
Dance of Dragons.
What shows she here for the week?
What needs to be on the board for Dragon Dance? If I get the Chariot, since you're asking for the SUV, I'm going to just stop and be done. You're welcome, Kelvin. Hopefully it gives you something to, like I said, to look forward to. But Dragon Dancer, I know you guys are working on getting your house all together and making sure it's the way you want it. Good luck for that. That's a lot of work. We've been there. So,
This is a general?
This is a general. They're all general, actually.
Okay.
Oh, another very good one. 10 of Pentacles. Let me get that zoomed in there. So the 10 of Pentacles is really prosperity and positive family matters, right? So when you get to the 10 of Pentacles, it means your bank will be satisfied, your house will be satisfied, your things will be satisfied. You cannot pick a better card for what you're going through right now. You look at any traditional meanings of this card, you're really going to see things like your family is going to be successful. You will see things like it's time to set up your wills and make sure that things are set, not because you're leaving us, but because you're stable enough to get those kinds of things done. So whatever's going on in your life right now, I can't lie and say that I don't know. This is an extremely positive card when it comes to making the right decision for long-term family success and enjoyment. The only thing that could be better is if this is followed by the 10 of Cups again. But that is an on-point card. You Google 10 of Pentacles and it's going to come up and talk to you about excellent fortune, financial moving forward, family stability, home, that kind of stuff.
Yep. And it's not the 10 of Cups. However, the Emperor tells you to keep that focus, that organization, that strategic planning to get that 10 of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
So a little
I know
willpower
better than
and
she does.
and
She
little
has
willpower
10
and
plans.
logic, right?
She's got 10 plans, so that's good. Keep that up. that organization, that planning, that research, that strategy, and that will lead to those 10 of Pentacles. Not tentacles, but pentacles.
Stupid. Oh yeah. Yeah, those are both really good. That's exciting. That is very exciting. That makes me happy for you, because that's really just kind of gives some direction to moving in the right ways. So, Joy is up next, and then we'll have Ziggy and the Furry. Ziggy. And then Furry. But right now, it is Joy. All right, Joy, what do we have? All right. Page of Cups. So, Page of Cups is kind of this introduction, and we've talked this in Tarot class actually. This would be somebody that's it's a gung ho excitement of forward moving. So, this is representative of the arts for me. This means that there is some seriousness that needs to be held into the arts, maybe some meditation that's going to help guide some of the things that you're doing. But this is definitely pushing on the arts thing. And as I discussed, the court cards represent people to me. So this might be a change in the art that you're doing, or a mentorship of somebody else's art to kind of help them grow in their ability to be creative and do things. There's meditation in this card, not really a traditional meaning, but that is one of the things this page is doing. It's kind of hard to see, I know, but she's meditating. She's working through something in her mind. She's very serious about this meditation, but it is in relation to the art. It is relation to her creation that is giving her these feelings and needs to be seriousness. So generally speaking, though, pages are going to represent that either that young movement energy or mentorship of somebody younger that's going to need to grow their art in some manner or form that you have the ability to do for them. So that is the Page of Cups.
And it might not be something that you expect or are used to, but kind of look through all the white noise. Look through the white noise. Not saying to be closed-minded, be open-minded, but stuff that you know is fluff, just kind of stick to your intuition and look through the not BS, but look through the fluffiness of it to the heart of the matter. Stay true to you. I know that's not traditional for the Hangman, but she's telling me stay true to you. Look through the BS. While being open. The Hanged Woman. It is not the hung man, it's the Hanged Woman.
One thing I always like to point out with the Hanged Man is that inverted, it's usually in the shape of a 4. And a 4 is a really good numerological number for gifts and success and changing for the better too. So that is definitely a piece of the puzzle.
I like the smell of incense.
Incense. Ziggy, you are up.
See.
Z to the I to the GGY. Z to the I to the GGY.
Ziggy-licious stuff. Ziggy-licious stuff. Duff.
You okay?
No, probably not.
Accurate. I was just looking to see. I think I went low latency on here. I'm going to have to double check that because sometimes this is just taking so long in the delay.
When they low, we get high.
Ziggy.
Ziggy. Isn't that a
Speaking,
song from Fallout? When they go low, we get high, or I get high, or something.
I am not aware.
Yes.
All right, Ziggy, we are in repeat today. Their first card from me is Ten of Cups.
Okay. I better not get 8 of cups.
So contentment, peace. Things are going to be smooth for a short. I won't say short time, but for a time. The Ten of Cups, as we've said in another reading already, this is what some people call the happy family card. We're not talking about blood family. We know that, but we're talking about just happy family, like the happy spending time with people that are enjoyable to you and that things are going well for you, especially emotionally fulfilling. So I would highly support that this is something that keeps you feeling content and home, and things are just in a good place for you overall from this emotional perspective. So maybe some recent changes that you've done that have kind of made things a little more balanced for you are present in here. So Ten of Cups.
Right. The Chariot. I love this Chariot card.
Aw, too bad Dragon didn't get the Chariot.
I know. They keep on a going. Your hands are on the wheel. It's time to go. Keep just going forward. It's a yes card. If there's a question you're thinking about, it's yes, yes, yes. Almost looks like Aladdin, doesn't he?
Kinda.
A little bit.
Oh my god, it's sad Aladdin's hit the bottom. He's become a one-man rising crime.
I blame parents, but he hasn't got 'em.
Sorry, I know the whole Aladdin soundtrack.
Okay. Please don't ever do that again. Just kidding. I love you.
It is what it is. But yes, don't get me started on Disney tunes, because we'll go through them. Oh, it's sad Aladdin's hit the bottom. He's become a one-man rising crime.
Oh.
Prince Ali, yes, it is he, Ali Baba.
He was the Chariot, yes.
Okay.
I never get tentacles. Sorry, I'm catching up.
Absolutely, Joy.
Yes, we will pull for.
Of course. We will pull furry.
Yes.
Shit. Not furry shit. Furry.
Are we on furry rage?
Rage. Thank you.
Thank you.
You ain't never had a friend like me. You ain't
Things
never
like that. Who needs
had
enemies?
a friend like me. Bwah, bwah. Okay, sorry. Yes, furry rage. My headache's going away. The ibuprofen's working.
Well, that's great.
It's also
That's
probably the
amazing.
water.
That's really
Speaking
good.
of, I'm kind of glad next week I'll be back on a normal schedule, back on my Monday, Thursday travel. Not these super short weekends when I get in late Friday night and leave early Monday morning. But furry, let's see what you get. All right. Three of Pentacles. Now,
Not
anybody?
tentacles.
Not tentacles. Pentacles. Pentacles. This is absolutely some of the most positive readings that you can get. So the Three of Pentacles is often around artistic capabilities, but I think right in this moment, we are definitely looking at financials, because this is a financial movement, a financial gain card. The Three of Pentacles comes up usually when you have enough money or things that you can actually store or put some money in the bank. So the three is, the four is the miser card, like I'm saving every penny and not spending anything. The three is I have a little bit of abundance. I can spend a little bit of extra energy because now I have enough that I could actually save something. So this furry rage is representing the gain in finances that you might have, and maybe using some of your artistic skill to gain that financial movement. So
Yes, and just adapt to the change, foundational change. I love this freaking tower
Dude, these
card.
make so much
It is
sense for
beautiful.
what y'all are doing. That is a beautiful card too.
It's just flipping, changing, big change.
Like
just like
we couldn't have.
adapt like the animals. They're so. This is a beautiful card. This is my
Really
favorite
is.
tower card. I don't have a favorite justice, but this is my favorite tower card.
No worries, Ziggy. Completely understand. That is really pretty. I was gonna say, like, I don't think we could have gone through and pulled out better cards for a read for you guys. As you know, not all cards are positive, but you guys are truly getting the cards that we associate with good movement and security. So that is freaking awesome.
What are we doing?
And then one for Joy's daughter.
Yes.
I try not ever to use anybody's name, first name or personal name, unless they're actually in the chat and say it's okay, or if their name is their name, right? Except you, I'll dox you all day, Brad. I mean, you're right. Nobody calls me Salann; they call me Mystic. So, like, really, that's not in my name. Yes, sir. I hope that was good for you and gave you some insight and some security feelings, because that was definitely some good shit. All right, Joy's daughter. We gotta hang that lamp too. Alrighty. Okay. This is a good one. We're having some positive motion today. We have the Nine of Cups. A lot of cups today, by the way. We're having a lot of cups.
Yeah.
So the Nine of Cups is a satisfaction to me card. It's like wishes are coming true. You're heading towards that 10 of Cups, right? The 8, 9, and 10 are all really good. The 8's the journey. The 9 is the, ooh, this is really cool. I'm satisfied. My wishes are going to come true. I feel generous. The 10 is you've made that contentment. You've hit that level. You're there. But in this particular case, you've got your 9 of Cups telling you that things are going well and in the right direction. So you will, if you are not already, receive some satisfaction and contentment from the things that you're currently doing. So yeah, I would really focus on keeping things going the way that you are doing them, because it's going to provide that contentment. And if you're not there yet, it is absolutely on its way. That's a neat image for the 9 of Cups. It's just like the cups are all full of like flowers and things that are growing and moving, and she's smelling them, and her eyes are shut, just like she's, things are good. They're positive movement. I just love that. I love this deck. I need to use it more.
And new ideas are coming. Give thought and credence to new ideas. Maybe something different from what you're used to, what you do. Could be work or something for fun, but new ideas are coming. Don't brush them off just because it's new or something you haven't done. Take a little time to investigate it.
They said tickle time.
No.
Why are you tickling time? I heard you. Said it over the video. Dirty. Yeah, so whatever the case is, there is some contentment and some positive things that are going to come true. Maybe instead of what we originally thought would have occurred, what's different might be and likely to be better than what was originally planned, I think. So almost like the situation where there's something didn't go the way we wanted, because if it did, then we would have missed out on the better thing that's right behind it. That's the feeling I was getting from the Abyss. The Abyss. Well, I think that's everybody. I absolutely enjoy the tarot, and I'm glad you guys were able to come in and stop by. I'm glad we were able to have some discussion on a couple really good topics.
Yeah.
I really want to start like digging into those tarot cards. That would be fun. Or maybe we'll do a separate series about that.
Or every Sunday, pick one.
Yeah, every Sunday we'll
Talk
do.
about it.
Well, every other Sunday.
Every other Sunday,
Ish.
pick one. A major
So-
arcana card, or
We'll start with majors. Yeah, we could.
yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning-ish, afternoon-ish with us, and keeping us busy and having some discussion. I really am just tickled every time, since we're using tickle so much lately, that people still want to come in and hang out a little bit, even if we get off topic completely.
Yes,
So-
thank you.
So yes, thank you all. Thank you everybody for stopping in and for some good conversation. We will be back the first Saturday of August. Keep in mind there are 2 more Sundays in this month, so we will not be back for 3 weeks. First, I think, something like that. Anyway, thanks. Have fun. It was
Have a
fun.
good week. Be
Deuces.
blessed.
Be safe.
Thank you.
All you can see on your shirt is dicks half.
Oh, half a dick.
Oh, Lord of mercy.